The scripture verse I chose is from Hebrews 13, verses 1 through 3. Let mutual love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that, some have entertained angels without knowing it. Remember those who are in prison, as though you were in prison with them, those who are being tortured, as though you yourselves were being tortured. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Melinda Hawkins. Along with Barb Sibley, I helped lead the Refugee Circle of Welcome here at Good Shepherd. This group collaborated with Lutheran Services Carolinas to help plan for and resettle a family from a refugee camp to their new life here in the U.S. It is hard to believe a little over a year ago, January 23rd of 2019 to be exact, we met Dad, Mom, and their 2 boys at the airport with everything they owned in 4 or 5 bags. These parents had lived in the camp for the majority of their lives and had been faithfully waiting for an opportunity to escape the persistent fear and uncertainty of camp. Leaving that camp meant facing another uncertainty, the uncertainty of being welcomed and accepted in a new land with different languages and different customs. Many on the Refugee Circle of Welcome team and in this congregation reached out in ways both small and large to make them feel like they belonged. And for that, I thank you all. Though they have bloomed and excelled at a pace we truly never expected, their lives are still challenging, and I ask that you continue to pray for them. Though their lives are not easy, they are happy because they consider themselves to be in a place where they feel safe. I selected this passage from Hebrew because it really spoke to me about what I've witnessed in the refugee community. Our refugee family lives in an apartment complex where the population is comprised largely of refugees from a number of different countries. It is truly a melting pot of cultures and languages. The families in that complex have very little. They never forget to show hospitality to strangers. Oftentimes, that hospitality is in the form of helping new arrivals. I'm sure that our refugee family felt that hospitality early on. In fact, the Lutheran Services Carolinas provided employment assistance, both Mom and Dad found their current jobs from their fellow refugees in their apartment complex. They are truly angels helping angels. The passage, "Continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison," is not a hard stretch for the refugee community. Whether it was a month ago or a year ago, they all easily remember living in an unsafe place, leaving family and friends, and coming to a strange land to be safe. They all remember how others helped them to feel welcomed when they first arrived. They show hospitality to one another in the smallest of ways, by helping navigate the city bus system or keeping an eye out for each other's kids. If you've ever visited the family at the complex, you've met the girl a couple of doors down, who is the eldest son's best friend. They are like 2 peas in a pod. Our refugee family, even though they are relative newcomers to this city, are no strangers to welcoming others in their community. Though new families to the complex are not as prevalent as in the past, they do still arrive. For example, our refugee family's dad recently drove a newly arrived young man to the public school central office to help get him enrolled in high school. In fact, our group name, the Refugee Circle of Welcome, takes on a new meaning when I think about this community. What was originally meant to be our team providing a circle of welcome to a refugee family has, to me, grown to be refugees who have known the suffering of insecurity and displacement, coming full circle and providing their own circle of welcome to the newly arrived, those whose suffering they fully understand. Moreover, love and hospitality to the stranger is not just something I've witnessed from the adults in this community. A local church group rents out an apartment where they teach ESL on certain evenings of the week. On Monday and Wednesday afternoons, Lutheran Services Carolinas provides homework assistance for the children of the complex. I've been helping out on Mondays as a tutor. It has been so much fun, and I have learned so much. Like, for example, I've learned that middle school math is really hard. I've often witnessed small, loving actions from these kids towards the newly arrived children that really show that they remember what it feels like to be the new kid in a new land. It's the energetic first grade girl who everyone wants to be around, who always wants to make sure that everyone else is okay. I think of her as Mother Hen, sharing her pencils, helping others to read, and bringing comfort to those who might be a little anxious by it all. It's the middle school boy, the math whiz, who notices that the new boy sitting next to him has the same homework as he and simply reaches out to help him better understand the problem. It's the time we had a new kindergartner join the group, and she was so timid and unresponsive, I thought she might have little to no English skills. After a while, someone in the room blurted out, "Where is she from?" Honestly, in my born and bred in America world, I was a little shocked by the bluntness of the question until I realized that everyone in that room was originally from another country, and this was the questioner's attempt to break the ice and get to know the new girl. I pointed out on the world map on the wall where the new girl was from, how far that was from her new home, and the discussion progressed to other countries. By the way, I now think of that shy, timid girl as Miss Independent. She really only needed a little hospitality from the group to really blossom. Having witnessed the welcoming nature of the adults and the children in this apartment complex towards the strangers amongst them has really encouraged me to be more hospitable and welcoming to others whom I may encounter on a day-to-day basis. I've learned that hospitality and being neighborly and loving towards all God's children does not have to take a big effort or a big moment. It's the simple things. It's a simple gesture that lets someone know that I understand what it feels like to be in his or her shoes. To let them know I understand their suffering, whatever form that suffering may take. The onset of COVID-19 and the required social distancing has united us all in that we are all strangers to this unknown. We know what it feels like to be in the prison of isolation as we're going through it ourselves. There is no better time than now for all of us to remember to stay connected virtually and to be a loving neighbor to one another. Thank you.